we have been, over time, transitioning from energy source to energy source, right? We were using whale oil at one point for lighting. And it was a very expensive source of energy. Then we went to kerosene and petroleum, and then all of a sudden we start to see petroleum getting a little bit scarce, but then technology comes in and allows us to drill 5,000 feet below the ocean surface, and then 5,000 feet below the ocean floor, and 5,000 feet over, and we access huge oil reserves in the ocean floor. Technology took oil from scarce to abundant over and over again. And then natural gas becomes online, and then technology like fracking takes it from scarce to abundant, and now we're an energy exporter. And so energy wasn't scarce in that regard because it kept on giving us openings to more and more energy sources, but with consequences, right? It's going back to the consequence of the horse manure of the hydrocarbons we're pumping into the atmosphere. The beautiful thing is that we live on a planet that is bathed in 8,000 times more energy from the sun that hits the Earth's surface than we consume as a species in a year. So there's not a shortage of energy. There's plenty of energy, 8,000 times more energy than we need, a squanderable abundance of energy. It's just not in a fully usable form yet. But technology, again, is the force that takes what used to be scarce and makes it abundant. And so we're seeing that. We're seeing the cost of solar plummeting, right? We're seeing the efficiency of conversion of photons to electrons hitting new record highs every year. We're seeing the amount of energy entering the grid at 25% from renewables, and wind is, ahead of solar today. Solar will overtake it over time, and I think we're going to head towards an all or mostly solar electric economy. And a few interesting things. We're seeing countries like Costa Rica, the Netherlands, parts of the UK going to all renewables and making those claims. All of a sudden, we're starting to see a growing expectation in electric cars. And let me tell you, I used to think that petrochemicals were going to stick around. Why? Because we've got hundreds of millions or billions of cars out there that are going to be gas guzzlers. And these cars would be on the road for decades, right? How many, 1980 cars or 1990 cars are still on the road? They last for 20, 30, 40 years. And as long as they need petroleum, you're going to have the oil and gas industry going. But something's changed. And that is that the autonomous car is coming online, and all the plans for autonomous cars are electric autonomous cars. And those electric autonomous cars are going to be 10 times cheaper and 10 times better. When I say better, easier, no auto insurance, no driveway, no maintenance. It's there when you need it. You can have any kind of car on demand. It's car as a service. And so by 2025, right, what is that, 8 years from now, the estimate is car ownership is dead. A lot of millennials today are opting for Ubers versus buying cars anyway. It's a 10% niche already. We're seeing every major car company scrambling to get to reinvent themselves as car as a service, because no one's going to be buying cars anymore. You're just not. And in fact, it's worse than that for the car companies, oil and gas companies, which is you're going to take your $80,000 BMW and you're going to throw it away. You're going to give it away, you're going to try and sell it, you're going to scrap it, you're going to park it, you're going to sell it for parts because it's so much cheaper to have an electric autonomous car that you just don't want it anymore.
Well, and then there's the hip factor that's snuck into that as well. It's cool to have that.
So all of a sudden, the long future tail of oil and gas is shut down. And so yes, we're going to need oil and gas for plastics and petroleum products and so forth, but they're fucked, I think is the final bottom line. Yeah, and so when the government stops being I value the support of NSF and EPA and NOAA and OSHA and all the government agencies to help. But if all of a sudden they're blocked and they're not able to, I much more expect entrepreneurs to come in and offer a product that's 10 times better for us, like getting rid of the horse and bringing in the car, and now bringing in the electric autonomous car, so that it's actually in our best interest. And so that's so much better when it's in our best interest to actually use the product and service that's better for us, and oh, by the way, it's better for the environment as well. So it's not laws driving this, you can't have on a whim someone change that. It's just everybody's choosing that because it's that much better for them.